So I've started collecting some of the materials that we need for Tinker Camp, of course, and practicing with them so I can help the kids uh, do the little projects. This particular test is for our flight Tinker Camp. That's the fourth week for our middle schoolers. And clearly it's a little advanced because I'm making solid rocket fuel out of sugar and potassium nitrate. So you can see on the table just a few things needed to create this rocket fuel. Just some sugar, some stump remover, which is 60% potassium nitrate, a measuring spoon, a cup, and a few other things, plus the hot plate. Now we're going to mix this particular batch. We're going to mix it as 60% potassium nitrate and 40% sugar, as recommended in some of the articles and movies on the web. So I'm just going to use a tablespoon, so 6 tablespoons of potassium nitrate and 4 tablespoons of sugar. And that should give me an approximate mix to get that rolling. I just put it in a medium hot pan, mix the two together, of course, and put the mixture in a hot pan. It doesn't do much right off the bat, but soon after, you can see it starts to clump up. The sugar just starts to begin to brown and create clumps. And as you cook it and stir it, the clumps become bigger and start to congeal together until eventually it turns into sort of a brown sugar sort of texture. And then finally, it took about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Eventually it starts to melt into a liquid, or sort of a putty-like or peanut butter type sticky paste, and eventually smooths completely out and becomes a liquid that you can then pour into paper tubes. But in this particular case, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to test the burn rates and whatnot. So what I did is I made 3 little testers that you can see those at the top of the screen there. Rolled them out. It was really hot, so I had to use gloves and whatever else. And by the time I got those rolled out, the other amount of the rocket fuel had hardened. Well, that was really no problem. I just put it back in the pan, heated it back up, and it became a liquid almost instantly. And then I rolled it out on some paper, like so, rolled it up into a burrito-like wrap, taped it together, and then cut them into little sections so I had some test motors that I could test the burn rates of. So here's the second of the burn tests that I did. The first one I just did so I can make sure I burned myself and all my test equipment is ready. And then I just put on some fire bricks and let it with my torch. The interesting thing about this rocket fuel is it's incredibly stable, and I couldn't even get it to light with my lighter. I had to use my blowtorch in order to get it to light off. But you can see it's spectacular once it's lit, sparks, smoke, and so on. My second test, which is technically my third test, again, wind picked up, and it was a little bit fatter piece of the rocket fuel, and it just smokes spectacularly. And finally, my third test was taking one of the rocket motors that I had made by wrapping it in paper and applying some tape to the outside. I, of course, had to set some bricks up so I wouldn't fly around the yard, and place it inside those bricks, and then roll off, and the results are astonishing. So there you go. I'll practice with this a little bit more so we can really get the kids to light off some successful rockets. But there's my first attempt at making solid rocket fuel or sugar rockets.